It says we're live
It says
now.
we're live.
It says we're live now.
I'm still alive in case anybody wants to know.
Yeah, we're right on time. Good evening, everyone, or good morning, depending on where in the world you're at, I suppose. I think I enabled chat, so hopefully we'll see some stuff come up over here.
It's just like just like we did last week.
Yep. There's Cleve. Cleve's in here. We got 11 people. So who's all out there? Dennis Cook, Tex, Ann, Lewis, Butch. Yeah, we got some people.
Who's that says hi, guys?
That's Butch White.
Oh,
And Joyce Van Pelt. Hi, Joyce. Pat. Hey, guys. Good evening. Hope you guys are all having a good Friday evening. Hoping that this 1 hour earlier works a little bit better for people, especially on the East Coast, because it's an hour earlier. So it actually works out, I think, a little bit better for us, especially this time of the year. We've still got daylight outside, so it's not quite as dark. So
it's not only daylight, we got sunlight. I mean, the sun's still up.
It's nice out there.
Yeah.
Although it was raining about
Yeah, we had a little spring rain today, but it only lasted for half hour, 45 minutes.
So in case you guys don't know, Vicky is back in California. In fact, she'll probably be chiming in here pretty soon. Just a few more things going on with her mom. So she took off, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Took off and she's back in California now. She'll be back, I don't know. It kind of depends on.
Yeah, her mom is kind of so. When you guys are doing your prayers or going to church or whatever, just mention Vicky's mom.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
So let's see. For those of you that don't know who we are, and I think there might be some new people based on the fact that I posted this on Instagram a little while ago, there may be some new people that don't know who we are. Father and son, Eric and Dave, and we basically teach people how to freehand route wood signs.
We teach people what we know, and we've been doing it for 50 years or thereabouts. So we try to pass on what we've learned over the years, just to help other people.
So Vic, are you in here yet? I see people saying hi to Vicky. Hi Tim. Hi Ellen. Yeah, there's Vicky. Yeah, Vicky's in there. She's showing up as your name. Oh. Anyway.
She shows up as me, yeah?
Yeah, she shows up as you, yeah.
Okay. She used my email address?
No, she's logged into it's your name on the YouTube channel.
Oh, I see.
So she's logged in as an administrator.
A lot of this tech stuff I don't quite understand, but as long as the kid knows about it and Vicky knows about it.
Vicky's got her bottle of empathy wine. She took a bottle of wine with her to California.
How did she get it in?
She checked a bag. If you check a bag, you can check a bag with up to so much fluid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she couldn't carry it on, but she checked the bag. So, yeah, she's got it.
Okay.
All right, so we want to do a couple actually 3 different little demonstration demo things. First thing I want to do is, you guys know that the bigger router...
you do that, then I'm going to go get a bottle of water.
Okay, if you decide to get in the freezer, you might want to close it when
you're done. I'm not going in the freezer.
I'm just saying, because somebody will see it. So this is the base plate for the DeWalt 618. I use this for cutting out shapes, but I also use it for carving signs. If I've got a lot of cleanup, a lot of background, or a bigger sign, I use it for that. But what I do is I just swap out the base plate and take the handles off. So what I want to do basically is show you guys how I go about doing that. So, gosh, I think I might have to switch let's see if this is going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the screws out here. There's 4 screws on the base plate. So I'm hoping this actually comes out okay. They're not real tight because I just swapped it out. So I take the screws out. This, again, is the original base plate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to swap it out for my custom base plate. But the other thing that I have to do, so there's the screws right there. The other thing, so what I do is when I use my big base plate with my handles for carving signs, I just leave the template guide. I just leave it on there and set it on the shelf. So I need to put this on there, but you can see that the original handles are in the way. So what I'm going to do is they just have slotted screws right there, but they also have inside, let's see if you can see this, they've got like a square nut inside. See that square nut right there? And what happens is when you unscrew this thing, sometimes that thing in there spins. So what I do is let's see if I can demonstrate this. I put that screw, just another screwdriver in there just to keep that square nut from spinning as I loosen it up or as I tighten it up. I hope that makes sense. So let me see if I can do that here. So I just hold that in a place down there against that square nut. So you can see now that handle wants to loosen up if I don't jam that screwdriver through my hand, which I almost did. It worked much better when you guys weren't watching. Anyway, so now that nut in there, let me see here. Yeah, that nut in there. See that square nut? Now you can see that thing. See, sometimes when you take this off, that thing in there wants to spin. And it's tough to get a wrench in there. So what I do is just use a screwdriver. And there's probably a much better way to do it, but this is the way I go about it. My Okie rig way. So see how that nut is actually square. It's not like a regular nut. And then I just put that on the back on the handle, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to wedge this screwdriver in there so that thing can't spin on me. So it depends on what kind of router you've got. You got to kind of figure that out, whether you have to take these handles off. But generally speaking, on bigger routers, so there, that one just came right off. Now I just take my base plate, and we will answer questions on this, guys. I can't look at the screen right now because I want to get done with this so Dad can do his demo. But basically now I'll just screw this right back in those same holes. So this is the base plate that I use for carving signs on my big router. And I still use, most of the time I'll use my palm router for all my detail work. But if I've got a lot of cleanup, a lot of background, big edges, or a big sign, then I want to use, and then that's it. That's our custom base plate. And I'm ready to go. That is it. And then I just put these handles on the shelf with or in a box with my other base plate, so I can just swap them out when I need to cut shapes.
You're going to tell them what routers we make the big bases for?
Yeah, we make those big base plates for the 618. Now I have to switch this back. We make those big base plates for the big DeWalt 618 and 616. And then, hi Gwenny. And then, hey sis. Renee's watching.
Too, don't we?
The 616, 618. I think you're thinking of the Porter Cable 690L or 690LR Porter Cable. Yeah.
At any rate.
And then a few others. They're all on the website. Make a wood sign under base plates. So we make these, and then we also make blank ones, and that's what Dad's going to kind of talk about. So we make a big blank one in case you have a hey Don, in case you have a router that we don't have a stock plate for. You can buy a blank one, and then all you have to do is just drill your own mounting holes. And that's what Dad's going to talk about right now.
Oh,
You're up.
Am I up?
You are up.
Okay, well,
And there's a freezer, and it's closed. Freezer is closed tonight. I'm not going to let him forget that anytime soon.
okay, to start off, this is a plate. This is a little DW611, the DeWalt router. And this is a base that fits on the DeWalt router. I took it off just to save a little bit of time, but the holes line up on that. And these are the screws that come with it. And the base plate that comes with it lines up with the screws.
So this is the original base
This is
plate.
the original base plate. And we make a plate for this DWP, but if you have a router that we don't make the plate for, then all you have to do is every router will have a base on it with the right hole dimensions. And so in order to, if we don't have a plate made that fits your router, you can get the blank. And this is just a blank with no holes. And all you need to do is line that up just like that. Okay? That's lined up. You might want to square it, make sure it's lined up square. And then what I do is I just take some of these spring clamps, clamp that on. I put 2 clamps on one side in this particular one, and another clamp there. So as you can see now, the hole is lined up and it's ready to be marked. And the way I mark it is I use a Sharpie. And I'll show you exactly what I do. Well, it's off just a little bit, but this is basically what I do. Is I take a Sharpie and I go in the holes that line up on your router. You have to remember which holes you took the screws out of. So there's those 4 holes are marked. Now, one thing that's very important, you can take your clamps off now.
Good catch.
Good catch. I didn't catch it. So you can do 2 things. If you've got a drill press, you can, but whether you have or not, this is a center drill. Now I'll give you a good close-up.
There you go.
So that's a center drill. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the center drill, if you start drilling a hole in the acrylic with just a drill, it'll walk a little bit on you. It'll move so that it won't go right where it's supposed to go. But if you use a center drill, you can use it either in a drill motor This is just a little, you could use this, and you could hold this snug. And you can actually drill it with a drill motor. I like to use a drill press, but if you don't have a drill press, if you're careful, this center drill, you put there right in the middle of that spot that you made, and you can just drill.
Did you show them how that actually drilled right where you made your mark?
Yeah, let's see. This drill, right where I made my mark, just drilled right dead center in that mark that I made. And when you do that, your center drill, you don't need to go all the way through with it. You just need to get it in there about halfway through. Then you get the right size, excuse me, you get the right size drill for the hole that you need to make. And this will give you an idea of the hole. Now, these are oversized holes. So whatever size the screw is, measure the shank of the screw. As you can see now, I'll show you that it's actually oversized. This will actually wiggle a lot in there so that you've got room in case you're off 10 or 15 or 20 thousandths on the hole. The screw will still go in and line up. Now there are two kinds of screw holes for the routers. One of them is the one that I like to use a lot, and you can see it. And if you look real close, you can tell this is flat on the bottom. That's what we call a counter bore. And so the hole is just a 1/2 inch in diameter, and it goes in where there's a flat on the bottom, so that the screw head that goes in there will clear. It's very important that screw head clear. Now, on some routers, you'll find this one now is just a 45-degree chamfer. It's called a countersink. The other one is a counter bore. This is a countersink. And this little screw here is called a panhead screw. It means it's flat this way. That's a panhead. Now a flathead screw is flat on the top, but it's in at a 45-degree angle. So when it goes in through that hole,
It doesn't want to fit. That's not made for
this
that.
particular one is not made for that. I don't have a counter flathead screw. But when you sink these, then your flathead screw will go right in through that and go right into the router. So
this is actually the base for the Drill Master.
yeah,
see, this one's actually
for
the Harbor Freight Drill Master. This is the base for that.
And there's 2 or 3 that we've got, bigger ones that are countersunk rather than counterbored.
Yeah.
So it depends on the type of screw that your router base has in it as to whether or not it'll fit. So that's really all you need to do is the base that comes. Yeah, the base that comes on your router is what you will use to clamp on to this blank base, and then you will make your marks. Then with your with your center drill, you go ahead and start your holes and make sure you get the right size holes. You go a little oversized on the holes because if the base moves 1/8 of an inch, it doesn't matter. It won't make any difference at all.
Right.
Because we don't have the step in our bases here. We don't have the step that takes a template guide. So if it's off 1/8 of an inch, so it doesn't really matter. All you're doing is you're using this visually to see what you're doing when you're carving signs. It's not like you're putting that template guide in there. So that's all you need to know. That's all I'm gonna teach you for tonight.
The main thing that you want to remember, guys, is if you have a router, if you want one of our router base plates, whether it's a big router or whether it's a smaller trim router, and we don't have on the website, and we don't have a base plate for that specific router, then what you'll do is just buy a blank one, just like, either the small blank one, which has no holes in it. There's marks there that Dad just put. So you'll either buy a blank one like this for the small trim routers, or you'll buy a bigger blank one for the bigger routers, the full-size routers.
Yeah,
and then you just do exactly what Dad did there. Make your holes, drill, make your marks, drill your holes, and you're all set.
You have to be a little bit careful. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
Just be a little careful and take your time when you're marking those holes. Take your time when you're drilling them. And that base, if you don't drop it on a concrete, that base will last you for years.
And the thing is, too, guys, remember, we sell these, but anybody can make them. I mean, you guys probably all have tools in your shop where you can make your own, and you can put different handles on them, whatever. We just happen to make them because a lot of people seem to like to buy them from us and don't want to hassle with going and getting a piece of acrylic. This
Yeah,
is,
we have a lot of people. I've seen a lot of videos where people, what's that gal's name? Size Corner. She made her own.
Yeah.
She
A lot of
she
guys
actually
do, yeah.
made it rectangle.
Yeah.
And then I've seen them where guys made them and they put wooden handles on the side.
Yeah, bigger handles. Some people don't like the little handles.
There's nothing difficult about making them. I buy these handles like 1,000 at a time, and I buy the acrylic in 10 sheets at a time. So I spend thousands of dollars to buy the material. So consequently, I can make them and sell them pretty cheap. You can't make one with the handles and everything. You can't make one probably for less than $25 considering your time and the material, the tools that you're going to need to to drill it, countersink it, or counterbore it. That's why I make it for you for $25. But feel free to make your own if you want to. That's
Okay, so the next little demo is this, again, is our little 611 modified base plate. So Dad just had one over there with the original base plate. And I want to just do a real quick thing here because we get this question a lot. So once you put this base plate on, remember also on the bigger router, the 618, it's open on both sides, so it doesn't matter. This one originally does not have this hole. It's all blocked in. We cut that hole.
I modified that.
Yeah, we modified the housing itself.
And I modify housing for our viewers too, in case you don't have the equipment, the metal hole saw and the necessary equipment to modify that. I always do that for you too.
But here's the thing that we get a question on all the time is, what about the sawdust? I'm carving in a basement or I'm carving in a back room and I want to hook up a dust collection to this. You know, I don't like dust collection. I don't like anything attached to my router. But I did go on and I bought the little apparatus for dust collection made for this DeWalt. And I was really shocked that I thought that after I had modified it, after we had cut the back in, that it wouldn't work for that. But I was wrong. So here's what happens is, this thing, the screws are the screw holes. You can see them right there. The screw holes that's kind of in the way. The screw holes are there that this thing will just screw right in place. I'll just kind of wing it here. You guys can't see that, but there are a couple little thumb screws. I'll hold it up, actually. There's a couple little thumb screws there. And you have to get it in just the right spot for those but it does. It will completely cinch down with these little thumb screws. And it works, actually, it cinches down solid. I'll get this one in place. That's tight. So if it's not modified the way we do it, with cutting this hole in the back, normally I would look through this window in order to carve. But being as there's a hole in the back, now I would carve from this side, and you would have your dust collection, your little vacuum hose on the back side. So if you guys need to have a dust collector, you can absolutely get one of these little doodads.
Yeah, if they've got the DWP 611.
Yeah, and a lot of different routers have different. Lost video. Are we still there, guys? Are you guys still see us? Oh no, I think that was just a comment on something. Thank you, babe. Thank you for answering questions for me. Anyway, so this thing is pretty cool. I think it could be that if I set up a vacuum hose coming from up above, and came down and hooked onto this, it's possible that this actually, I could even use it as long as it didn't restrict my movement. But I'm so used to carving without it. But if you're in a situation where you really want dust collection on your router, because the router does kick out a lot of sawdust, you might pick one of these up. We've got them in our Amazon store, but I got this on Amazon. I think it was like 15 bucks. And I was really shocked that we didn't, I thought the holes would be gone, that this thing wouldn't mount up, but it absolutely does. And the fact that we open up the back side, it's perfect. So I would just carve from this side, and the dust collection would be in the back. So it's kind of nifty. I was just shocked. But
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I've never used it. I have over the years. I've tried a couple of different types of dust collectors, but anything that's hooked to my router, I don't like it at all. I used to have a bench that I carved on that had a big heavy screen that I had a vacuum hooked up to the table, to the bench itself, and the sawdust went through a screen and went into a place where the vacuum could pull it out. But
yeah,
I've never found one that I really like to use, so I just carve without them.
and and the thing is, somebody had just mentioned on here about a downdraft table, and
Exactly.
and that's what you're talking about
Right.
there. So we have had those, although we've never done a video with those. That's something that I think
Well, that
would
was
be
long before we started doing
yeah.
video.
Oh yeah, long before. But a
That
downdraft
was,
table.
That was while I'm still in California.
Yeah.
And I've been out here for 20 years, so.
So a downdraft table or a backdraft table. So if you're carving here and then you had a baffle at the back where the sawdust, and then you had a vacuum hooked up to that, that actually works pretty well. Dan Santolucido over in California, I did a video. Vicky and I did a video with him and his lady, and he has a trailer, a sign carving trailer, where he hooked up a situation like that, and it works pretty well.
Yeah, sometimes if you got a trailer or a very small space, sometimes a vacuum system is good because you need to capture that sawdust.
Yeah. Okay. So that is that. We're at a half hour right now. So here's what I want to do now. This is something I've been wanting to share for a while. I got an email from Don Owens, and he has an idea for marketing. And so I'm just going to read what he wrote here. He said, I had an idea and it seemed to be bearing some fruit. Basically, I was looking for an inexpensive carving to do that would get me a following. I'm tight with an elementary school, so my thought was to offer a 5.5 by 8 carving that would have the school name and the student's name, either their grade level and the year and the grade level. So here's what he did. He basically made a little frame that's got the student's name, the year, and the grade, and then put the school on there, and so that the parents can then buy that very inexpensively. Hey, Calvin. And so I'll read the rest of it, but it's pretty cool. So my first carving was for the Catholic school. My neighbor's going to talk with the administration about offering these to parents, and then talk to the PTA. He priced them at $15 and thinks that they should go pretty well. And I think he's been having some success. Don, if you're out there and you're watching, I'd love some comments, because this was actually about a month ago. So the cool thing is, I think that is for $15 and making them out of, hey, Joe Murphy, just making them out of just small boards. And I think it's really a cool idea. If you guys have an in with schools, you can make something like this, just like this. But this would also work for sports, and have the kids' football picture on there, and you can have a little football on there. This is what I've been talking about a long time, as far as people and parents wanting to buy memorabilia for day. They want to have, a series of, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade and have little pucks with the kid's picture on them. I
It
think
could
it's
be,
really a cool idea.
it could be a graduation picture with
Yeah.
a graduation date on it. There's just all kinds. This is thinking like an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I really admire that. Somebody that looks at something and sees something and say, gee, that's a great idea. How can I use that to help other people and to make money?
Yeah, and I think it's, you could even donate part of the proceeds back to the PTA. There's a lot of different things that you can do with an idea like this. But, there's something about parents that want to help raise funds or buy something for their kid to remember their kid. And now there's graduation. There's not just high school graduations. There's kindergarten graduate. Seems like every year, our kids are graduating from a class. So anyway, or our grandkids anyway. But anyway, I think that is really a cool.
Kids in my case.
Yeah, I think that's really a cool idea. So maybe that you guys could, think about that and think about that as a possible marketing thing. And then what Don was saying is that the people that buy these, they've got your work in their home. They'll probably think about you when it comes to Christmas gifts or anniversary gifts or whatever. So if you can get your name out, that's where business comes from. So that's kind of all we got. We're a little over a half hour. So what do we have for questions? We have any questions, guys?
I feel like I should tell you one of my favorite quotations from a guy named Zig Ziglar. And his quotation that is one of my favorites is, you can have anything that you want in life if you will help enough other people get what they want. And that's absolutely true. If you help enough people get what they want, that will just in turn get you what you want in life.
That's always been a favorite of mine.
That's
too.
always been one of my favorites.
Bull, I'm reading something you wrote here, Bull. I've been trading signs for racing setup and saved over $800 so far. Actually, got a Corvette seat for my iRacing rig. $20 and 36-inch sign. Trade your stuff. Absolutely. We're big on that. Trade your stuff for people that have other stuff and get your work out there. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, we've been bartering, trading what we do for what somebody else does. We've been bartering for 40 years at least.
Yeah.
At least 40 years, maybe more.
Somebody had said way earlier on, how did the O-ring work? And that was in regards to, we talked a couple weeks ago about using Loctite, like a thread lock, to keep this from loosening up. And we've got a couple different suggestions on that. Using a big O-ring here, I think is a terrific idea. I haven't done it. I haven't tried it. But a big O-ring in there, I think, is a great idea. That would save having to do, use that Loctite. I think somebody else said like a piece of brass in there that will compress and keep that thing from backing out.
Yeah, you could even use like a piece of copper wire, get electric wire and strip it. You wrap a piece of copper wire around that and tighten the nut up, and that would compress a little bit. That would help hold it on.
Yeah. So my sister Renee is in here.
Oh, really?
Ryan is in here. Hey, Ryan. Gary. So questions, guys? I don't know. We've been talking so much, I haven't seen much in the way of questions. So I think, and Vicky's answering some questions. So I'm sorry if I missed some questions, guys. Let us know here.
It's a little difficult to, unless we get a bigger screen, it's a little difficult to really see the questions as they come in. We have to scroll back through it.
Well,
to find them.
for us, when we're doing stuff,
That's what I mean.
That's where Vicky would really come in. She would see all that. Let's see. What else we got here?
Looks like we got a lot of viewers out there tonight.
Yeah, there's looks like 91
Wow.
91 in there right now. Let's see. Thank you, Bull. Wax transfer paper. What kind of sheets do you get? I use Lewis. I use it's in our Amazon store, and it's not wax transfer. It's freezer paper, and it comes in 8.5 by 11 sheets. You can go watch any of my current videos. Gosh, I've used it, several different times. In fact, I'll go grab it. I know right where it is. Hang with me, Lewis. Talk, Dad. Talk. Fill some time.
I'll see if I can reach this. Says, "Hi, baby, I love you." That's for me. It must be to me. Ever join two boards together to make one large sign? If so, how do you straighten out the edges?
Oh, you gotta do that.
How do you straighten out the edges for joinery? Probably just use a planer or use a shaper. Just
A joiner.
a joiner.
Yeah.
Just run it through there and square the edge up.
Yeah, or if you've got a really good table saw, sometimes actually even the Festool and the new Craig adaptive cutting system has a track saw that actually cuts a good enough joint that you can actually laminate board. So here's the freezer paper I use. Trying not to get the shine on there. So this is the freezer paper that I use. It's for an inkjet printer, and it works terrific. So whoever was asking that, I can't remember. Anyway, that is it, boys and girls, and we've got it. Where can you get acrylic, and how much?
I buy the acrylic at two places. One is Layered Plastic. They're nationwide. But where I buy from is a place in Phoenix called Port Plastics. And I buy about $1,500 worth at a time. But if I buy it in full sheets, and then I have it cut to size to fit my laser. So it will run, depending on what you get, the 1/4 inch you can get for, which is 6 millimeter, you can get that for around $80 a sheet. If you get a 1/2 inch, you're looking at $350 a sheet.
But
And the sheet is 4 foot by 8 foot.
So we use Roland. You were asking how thick is the acrylic? Basically 1/4 inch.
Yeah, it's 6 millimeter, which is 234,000, something like that. About 15,000 short of a 1/4 inch.
Let's see.
But that's how it comes. It comes in millimeters rather than in decimals.
All right. Let's see. Do you use multi-sheet patterns with the? Yes, Gary, I do. If you're asking me, I don't know. A lot of you guys are interacting with each other, but yeah, we use a rapid resizer, and if it's bigger than an 8.5 by 11, rapid resizer will print it out in tiles, and then you just tape it together. So yeah, this is the same stuff I use for that. Oh, you're talking about the rolls of freezer paper. Do you use multi-sheet patterns with freezer paper? Yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring to there, Vic.
Somebody asked Vicky if she's using my name broadcasting from a car, but I don't think she's in a car.
No, she's on her laptop. So you use some clear shelf liner laminate and put it down and print it on that. Oh, if it works, that's great. Good for you, Leonard. Okay, so where are we at, guys? I was wondering how you made large letters. Now it makes sense. Okay. Yep, that's how we do it, Joe. Roland, I love using rapid resizer. I never knew about it until I heard it here. Cool. What's the difference between plexiglass and acrylic?
Well, a lot of people say plexiglass and acrylic are the same, but they're really not. Plexiglass is polycarbonate. It's unbreakable. You can take a hammer and bounce it off of it. Acrylic is, there's two kinds of acrylic. There's extruded acrylic and cast acrylic. Extruded acrylic is very fragile, breaks real easy. I use cast acrylic, much tougher. But I can't, I can't cut plexiglass or polycarbonate. You can't cut that on a laser. It gets so hot so fast that it just gobs up. So, unfortunately, I can't make these bases out of an unbreakable polycarbonate. So, but a lot of people use interchangeable for plexiglass and acrylic. But as far as I'm concerned, plexiglass.
Okay, Daniel, you're asking, I need bits, but will your bits fit any router? Just wondering, I have a Ryobi. This question is for Dave and Eric. So as long as you've got a 1/4 inch collet in your Ryobi, and it's not 3/8 or 1/2 inch, yes, our bits will fit in your router. And chances are, if you've got a Ryobi, just check it, and if it's all of our bits are 1/4 inch, so yeah, they probably will fit in there.
Yeah, the bigger routers, the DWP and the Palm routers, none of those take bigger router bits.
Yeah.
But bigger routers, you can get bigger collets, so you can use 3/8 or 1/2 inch in the bigger routers. But in the Palm routers, 1/4 inch is a bigger collet that I know that they make. And,
yes.
And all of our router bits are 1/4 inch.
So yes, to answer your question, Dave, as far as plexiglass, you could use plexiglass and make your own. And you, again, if you cut it with or a router, you're good to go.
Absolutely.
You absolutely could do that.
Yeah, and if you just want a rectangular one, a little bit bigger than what we make, you can make them out of plexiglass, and they're, for all intents and purposes, they're unbreakable. You can throw them around and they're not going to break. But plexiglass, I can't cut on the laser, so I don't make them out of plexiglass or polycarbonate.
Okay, so you've got a couple people saying that, the DWP, you're right, Bob. The DWP 618 comes with a 1/4 inch collet and the 1/2 inch.
And a 1/2 inch.
And I've used both. When I was using that big cutter to flatten slabs, I was using a 1/2 inch collet, which that's what you want to do.
Truth is, I've used, back in the old days when I was a machinist, I've used like a 10 horsepower router motor, and I had 3/4 inch collets in that. So it's just, but you're not going to hold anything by hand with that big a router in it. So
Yeah.
or that big a router bit.
Bob Mulch, I got to get down there to Chandler and we got to visit, man. I know you were here, and I know you're down in the Phoenix area. I didn't know you were actually in Chandler. We've got to get down there and get together with you. We're gonna.
Scroll back. There's a guy who said something from Canada.
Yeah.
Thanks, I'm in Canada.
And your
This
stuff would cost
me 30% more plus the shipping.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's the thing, Dave. We know that. We know that it's
yeah,
if you're out of the
unfortunately,
country.
there's nothing we can do about that.
Oh, Eric is because I'm sorry, Joe. Because I'm scrolling over here on the left, I didn't want to get my mug right in front of the camera. So yeah, you're right. Move the camera so we can see. There we go. All right. Sorry, guys. Dad's much better looking than me anyway. Hardly see Dad. Okay, yeah. All right, so I'm in front of the camera now.
Well,
There we go.
I can move a little closer.
There we
here,
go.
If that makes it any better.
Greg, I started out with a Harbor Freight, the Drill Master probably, and then went to DWP 611. That's a great upgrade. But you know what? That for $25, that little Harbor Freight will work. A lot of people use them.
Yeah, and by the way, just as a mention, that little center drill that I showed you on starting the drill, Harbor Freight has a little package of 5 of those, 5 different sizes, and that comes from Harbor Freight. So here's
Yeah, the camera's over here. There you go.
so this is a Harbor Freight item, and there's 5 different sizes in there. Well, I think it only costs like $6 or $8. It is almost like giving it away.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Bull. Izzy Swan, we got a chance to talk to him quite a bit at Workbench Con. Izzy is awesome. In fact, I was just watching. He just was doing a live on Instagram just probably less than an hour ago. I was watching him for a few minutes. Izzy's awesome. Yeah, he's terrific. That guy is amazing.
Yeah, I have no idea how he uses his imagination to get all that stuff done. It's just totally incredible.
Yeah, we really got a glimpse of his intellect and his brilliance.
Somebody's still using a Harbor Freight router.
Oh yeah, yeah. Does Harbor Freight also sell a counter bore bit? I'm sure they do, Joyce. A counter bore.
Yeah, I bought mine. I bought my counter bore. I bought that at Woodworkers Emporium in Las Vegas. But I'd be surprised if
Yeah, I'm sure Harbor Freight has
doesn't have one. If they don't, just go on Google and do a search for counter bore.
Well, Vicky says we're running almost an hour now.
What does she know? She's in California.
How much is your 3-inch Western font letters and numbers? The 3-inch set, I don't know, Vic, what's the 3-inch set cost? I think it's, I want to say maybe it's 65. I'm not sure. And that's with all the letters and numbers and extras on the vowels. I think, but it's on the website.
And the punctuation.
Yeah, and the punctuations too, yeah. Let's see. Vic is saying you should say goodnight. Yeah, I know. This is my first to find you. You might tell me what the best way to know when you will be on. Okay, so every Friday night, Fred, every Friday night we're going to be on at this time, 6 o'clock Pacific time. That's
Friday night fun with Dave and Eric.
Yeah, so we may do other things here and there to do like special announcements, but you can count on us doing the Friday until further notice. So that's what we plan on doing. Where do you get Rapid Resizer? Is it an app? Oh yeah, Rapid Resizer. It's rapidresizer.com. It's just go to rapidresizer.com. That's where you get it. It's not an app.
You download that right off of the internet.
No, well, you don't really download it.
You use it online?
Yeah, you use it online.
Oh, okay.
You upload your images to their server, and then you can play with it within their server. So you just join, and there are there's some cost in it if you want the upgraded version, or you can do it. You can do it free. There's some stuff you can do for free. Does the letters come in upper or lowercase? Now we're getting
no.
Not really, Ryan.
We don't make
Not
lowercase
really.
letters. I do make them occasionally on special order, but we don't have them as a standard item. They have to be special ordered, and I will do them. In fact, I just finished a couple of big orders that had lowercase letters, but we don't have them like on the website. Anything with lowercase letters is special order, with one exception. There's one script letter that I sell that's both upper and lower.
Yes, Nick, I did get your router bits and sharpen them, and they're on their way back to you. So it's already done, man. They're on their way. You should have them. You might have them tomorrow. Need double letters. I've seen one making templates. I don't know what you mean, David. I have a video called Limited Layout Letters. If you just type in that title, I have a video where I show if you only have one of each of the letters, how you can make it work if you have to use double letters.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to do.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here.
What's the SWAT?
Is that SWAT team outside? Not yet, Bull.
Yeah, it's too light for them out there. I
Yeah,
don't see, I
they're
don't
going to
see
wait
any
till
bright
it's
lights.
they're going to wait till it's dark. I actually called them about a half hour. Well, I called them about a half hour before we went on. I'm doing that every time. So I called them about a half hour before we went on to give them a heads up. Anyway, guys, that's it. Tammy Rule, please give me a shout out. Tammy Rule, what bit do you use for small, sharp points, as in a star? Tammy, I use a SC50. SC50 bit is my really go-to super fine detail. That's the one.
And you want a real sharp corner. Just when you get to the corner, you pull it up and out, and you get a super sharp corner. It's easy to do.
Okay, all right. Yes, Vic, you're asking a question, or are you just telling me, are you yelling at me? Are you
Well,
yelling?
it's not all caps. Yeah,
Oh, it is all
caps.
caps. She's
Yeah,
yelling.
she's hollering
Okay.
at you.
All right, I'm out. I can hear my wife clear from California. Anyway, thanks, guys. Any questions I missed here, email me, eric@makeawoodsign.com. I'm up early a.m. and no, I'm not yelling. Yes, you were yelling.
When you type all caps, it's like, yeah.
Yelling. Anyway, love you guys. Thanks so much. I hope this was helpful. Again, email me Monday's video, another huge, great group of sign carvers of the day. And then Wednesday, we're moving on with Stevie's sign, built by Stevie's sign. It's coming out good so far. Anyway, love you.